Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 22 of the Expansion Pack Podcast, where we download this week's content and bring it to you. I'm your host, Danzel, aka Black Ice, joined by my amazing co-host as always, starting off with Manny, aka Goopmaster Flex. Say what's up to the people.
What's up? Stay gooping. You know how we do.
All right, we always stay cooping as always. And then we got my guy Chris, aka May 25th.
Oh, what it is, y'all. It's another day, another time to talk about some damn games. Let's get it.
Right. Hey, hold up, though. Hold up. We gotta talk about something a little special now. Talk about something a little special before we get into it all. You know, all those 5 cents a day moments. Those 5 cents a day, they added up. You know, we got a little special announcement for y'all out here. So, you know, Chris, I'm going to let you take it away, you know, letting people know what's going on.
Well, the public, I just wanted to be known that the 5 cents a day, it did not give me enough, so I did have to put the fishnets on to get the rest of the money, but scratched it up. I was on the street corners for at least 3 weeks straight, did my thing, you know what I'm saying? And I got enough bread, and then I retired. Swear to God. Retired. I don't do that shit anymore. Right? And then I had enough money to go buy an Xbox. Wow! Yo, we got to get that one, too. We got to get that one.
But not just any Xbox, ladies and gentlemen. He got himself an Xbox Series X. About time.
I did. No, it's taking a little bit to download all my stuff back onto it, but I've arrived.
Well, you know, just as fitting as it is to have our what we're playing this week segment, you know, you start us off. You tell us how your experience with the Xbox has been so far.
All right, y'all. So I'm not gonna lie, disappointed not necessarily because of the Xbox, but just because of the fact that I'm like dying to play some of these other games and they're taking forever to download. So because of that, like I can't even act like I played a lot yet. But did get to play some Destiny. You know, I played COD, but it played the same way almost as it does in the One X, so I didn't really count. But Destiny, whoa. Nah, I gotta get used to it, bruh. You gotta understand, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. The public, let me explain something to you. Is it weird that I'm saying the public? That's like other third person, isn't it? That's kind of cool. All right. Anyways, the public. I came from a peon level, and I done stepped up to some new shit, to some new waters for you boys. This is like eating chitlins for your whole life. And one day they say, no chitlins. And they just push a T-bones in front of your face, cooked to perfection. That's what I'm feeling like right now, y'all. Feeling like I done made it. Feeling finally like, you know, granted, I'm the last person in the squad to get it. Fine. But I done made it.
That's all that matters, man. You're here.
Mm-hmm.
And Destiny's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I ain't gonna lie, I gotta kind of get used to it though, because it's a little fast now. Like, it's weird. The game was fast before Stasis, and then Stasis came out, and it felt like it slowed the game down. And then now they nerfed Stasis, and I'm at 60 FPS out of nowhere. So, like, yeah, I'm just kind of like, and I gotta, like, kind of learn how to do things. As I was telling Denzel, I popped my super in the Crucible the other day and crashed into a wall. So I'm moving a little fast, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I'm happy to finally not be an offie anymore and finally be a part of the crew. We're waiting for the other homie, Adam. You're gonna be here soon, bro.
Yeah.
You're
By the time this releases, I think he'll have his Xbox. I think we'll be there.
Yeah,
The circle
man.
will be complete.
Nice.
The Rod Squad.
Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, trying to make the Rod Squad a thing for the past week. I've been trying to shut it down. It's not working. I don't know.
Guys want to be part of the Rod Squad? Let us know in the comments. All right.
Let them know in your pen pal
Oh, no.
emails, Chris.
Yeah, pen pal Chris, May 25th. XX. That pen pal him if you want to be part of the Rod Squad. All right, keep that over there. Keep that over there.
Now y'all trying to turn it into something else. I was trying to, nah.
Oh god. All right.
I was
Well,
just trying to have
listen. Well, Chris, we're happy you got your new Xbox. Looking forward to talking to you a little bit more about, some of the other exclusive games on the Series X, like Medium and so on and so forth. So, we're glad Chris is finally here, guys. But, Manny, you've obviously already had your Xbox Series X and your PS5. What you been playing this week?
I've been playing, Chris's favorite game that he loves to talk about, Final Fantasy VII Remake. That I've been playing a little bit of that. Also, recently just bought Crash Bandicoot since it was on sale for, I think, $38. So I bought that. I've been playing a little bit of that on the PS5. And Warzone, of course. Played some of that yesterday with the boys, of course. I know y'all guys were so close to getting that dub that one match, but,
Heartbreaking loss.
Pain. And
complete pain.
a little bit of 2K, actually, on the side. I know it's been a while since I played 2K, and I'm still disappointed because it's dog water, but
Oh man. Well, all right. Well, Chris got 2K. Well, he got a Series X now, so he can play 2K with us. It's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's in Game Pass.
It's at 50%. It's at 50%.
I thought that was current gen. That was
no.
Either version.
No.
In Game Pass.
Hey.
So got a new member of the squad. A reason to bust back out 2K. So that might be something we'll be talking about next week. Stay tuned.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Anything else, Manny? Or
no, that's pretty much been it.
Word. So inspired by the Square Enix showcase, I'm playing a couple Square Enix games recently. Actually, as I mentioned last week, I've been playing Avengers. Been playing more of it. Of course, there's the obligatory Destiny 2 because it's not a normal week if I'm not playing Destiny. So you already know that's what's going on. Expect to hear that every week. But Avengers, having a lot of fun with that. I've actually just at the very end, I'm at the final boss fight. I literally paused it for us to be able to record this. So right when we're done with this, I'm probably gonna beat the game completely, and I have to say I really like the story of the game so far. I do have to still go and play the expansions like the Kate Bishop missions and then the Hawkeye missions. But I'm actually pretty impressed with what they've done with the story. The game still needs some tuning for sure. It's not a perfect game. It's not even necessarily a good game, but the story is good, and I would say it's still pretty fun. And it got me. Square Enix got me, even though I was complaining about it before. I went ahead and bought the trilogy for the Tomb Raider collection. I know, Manny's so disappointed. What's weird? They released it at $50 and then discounted it the next day to $20. So,
wow.
Yeah, so I was like, well, fuck it. I already owned Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I believe, but I was like, well, for $20, I'll just own Rise and the original one. And the main reason I started playing it again was to play with my wife because I believe that those are games that she'll definitely enjoy. I've already played the first two. I haven't finished the third one. But, it's so weird because it's been so long since I played the first one. So I'm playing it again with my wife and I'm like, I don't remember any of this stuff. Like the whole opening sequence, I was like, I remember this being completely different. So, it's a good opportunity to dive back in and have a little bit of fun with that. It's still a great story. So I'm looking forward to playing even more of it. But yeah, that's pretty much been it this week. 2 Square Enix games and of course, Destiny as always. So
definitely.
Okay.
So speaking of story games and whatnot, Chris, we're gonna dive into everybody's favorite segment. So, go ahead and take it away, boy.
Boy.
Oh, stretching.
I'm reaching for that hammer from Thor. Pause.
Oh.
It just kind of comes and it just lands in your hand like this, and then you just grab it, pause, and then you just.
We're going to have a lot of pauses this week.
That might have been my best one. Yeah, that one felt good, y'all. I'm sorry. I ain't even going to hold you. Woo, that was nice. All right. Sorry. Birdman hands. Need those. Very much need those. For this week's icebreaker, y'all. Fairly simple question. Nothing too complicated. What's the best story in any game you've ever played? Don't even gotta have the best mechanics and all that stuff per se. Might not even have the nicest graphics per se. What story was riveting, tugged at your heartstrings, and had you coming back for more? Gentlemen, what is that game?
Chris, I'll let you start, bro. It's your question, so you hit us off with the first one.
All right. Y'all want my answer? All right. So for me, my favorite story in any game to date. It's funny, when I was little, I don't know why it was Kingdom Hearts. But being able to look back and really be able to put things together, honestly, gotta go with Mass Effect, man. I have to. At least the first 3. It's weird, man. I look at Andromeda almost like how people who watch Dragon Ball Z look at GT. Like, nobody gives GT any respect.
No, nobody
Ever.
does.
It's not canon. Like, nobody cares about it besides, like, the Shenron stuff. But, like, it's kind of in the same boat, because, like, I really respect the first 3 games. Andromeda was beautiful. Graphically, I thought it looked really good, but... So
Yeah.
I can't really count it. But first 3 games, story-wise, I loved it. I loved the fact that you could start the first game and all your stuff from the first game would literally carry over through part 2, and then that stuff would carry over into part 3. Not enough video games do that shit nowadays. I don't know why, because it's a really cool feature. Yeah, I really don't know why, especially when you have time jumps, And I think that's what made it really work for me in the second game was because, again, this man Shepard, he was done off. He was done, and they found a way to revive him, and time passed, and your consequences from the first game, again, carried over. I really like stuff like that. And I'll say this till I'm blue in the face, Mass Effect is one of the very few games out there. Well, I'm not even going to say few anymore, because now we're in a different age, right, where we got all this adaptation stuff going on, so... Even before all of this was happening, I was still always, Mass Effect is one of the few games that could really be a movie or a TV show if they really wanted to. So, like, yeah, I really love everything they did with that. I love a lot of the lore, the pacing, just everything about it was really cool. And there's something about the whole Reaper storyline that I really, really liked. That seemed much bigger than the video game itself, and it seems like there's still so much more they can do with that. Because if you know about Mass Effect, there's not a lot of... They explain a lot about the Reapers, but there's still a lot of mystery about them, too. So, yeah, Mass Effect does it for me, man. That's my genre right there. Definitely.
Okay.
Nice.
Mass Effect, definitely a good pick. All right, Manny, what about you, man?
It's hard. It's like, a lot of good games with good stories, in my opinion. It's like, name a few that were my favorites that but are not my pick are, the new God of War for the PS4. And actually, one of my favorites too is The Walking Dead, the first one for the Telltale games. That one, like, that story hit different, especially in the end when you had to, I forgot his name.
Lee, my guy Lee.
Bro, that hit, I was... some games made me cry, and that, that made me cry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that
Clementine said,
like, yo, because, like,
she said
like, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to get emotional for games, but when the game's story is so good like that, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? That hit, like, the soul right there when, like, this man Lee was like, just do it. I mean, now.
End it.
it was like Simba. Remember when Simba and he found out the dad died? It hit me like that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like like I remember when a game first came out and like it won Game of the Year, and I was like, the game won Game of the Year. And then like when it came to like one of those free games for gold, and like I played it finally, I was like, yo, why have it took so long to play this?
Yeah,
But
that
Yeah.
even Chris's
Good
reaction right there tells you everything you need to know, right? Like, talking about tugging on heartstrings, yeah, rip your heart into pieces.
definitely.
Yeah, man.
So that would be
Yeah.
my pick, definitely. And
Okay,
if you haven't played it, you know what I'm saying, pick it up. I'm sure it's probably like cheap, or you can find it cheap somewhere.
yeah, I'm sure it's
Yeah,
cheap
for
as hell.
sure. For
Mhm.
sure.
Rest in peace, Telltale. I don't even know what's going on with
Facts.
that anymore. Like, they resurrected the studio and then they took it down. But yeah, they
Mhm.
definitely knew how to tell a good story in a really unique way. So definitely a good pick for me.
Uh,
It's a tough one because I was actually leaning towards The Last of Us a little bit, like the original one. I really enjoyed the story on that one,
Mhm.
but I'm gonna have to go with Bioshock. I know I've talked about it many times.
I knew that was coming. I
Yeah.
knew it.
Yeah.
Bioshock 1 and Infinite. Again, I've said this many times. Skip 2, please. Just skip it. It's trash. Just skip it. But Bioshock 1 and Bioshock Infinite, absolutely amazing stories. And they do such a. So, isolate the first one, right? The very first Bioshock. They do such a good job of immersing you into the world of Atlas and introducing you to these characters and trying to explain to you who the villain is and who the villain isn't and so on and so forth. And then the ending comes and like I'm not gonna spoil it, but they're in my opinion the best twist in video game history between the first game and the second game. They both had really crazy twists, and in some ways they kind of related to each other, so it's even more impressive that they were able to hit you with that twist again in Infinite. Um but yeah, Bioshock, easily best stories. I can't really say too much more than that because I would be giving away a lot of information. But you guys haven't had a
Mhm.
chance to play it, please go do so. I'm pretty sure they released a Bioshock collection, which should
Mhm.
have one and Infinite. Hopefully, it doesn't have two. Please don't have
I
two.
think it's just 1 and 2.
Really? Oh my god!
Yeah.
Just wipe two off the face of this earth. I'd be cool with it. You know?
Man.
Yeah.
Bro, because in comparison, when you think about how good it looks, like when you think about how good the story is set up and everything, like between the very first one and then Infinite, and then you have that weird wedge in between it that is Bioshock 2. Like I'm being a little extra harsh. I know I am. It's cool, whatever. But it's just like when you have these two masterpieces of a game, like I would give those games tens, right?
Mhm.
And Bioshock 2, maybe I give it a 7. It's like you can't be wedged in between two perfect game, well, near perfect games, and then sit there and have this like trash come out. I don't know. They were just trying to milk the world, and either way, Bioshock
Yeah.
1, Bioshock
Yeah.
Infinite, fantastic games, fantastic stories, really interesting game mechanics as well. I've said it many times, and I'll continue to say it again. Make sure y'all go play that game.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of a
Action.
game, I'm a Chris. Chris made mention about Mass Effect being turned into a movie. I could definitely see them making Bioshock into a movie. So, like either one of them, yeah, I would. Man, yeah, they would catch
Imagine though,
me.
like especially if HBO or something like got their hands on it, because you know how they do. They
Yeah.
ain't playing.
Mhm.
You know who I would want to make it though? So, oh man, what's his name? You guys see the movie The Shape of Water?
Nah.
Is it called Shape of Water?
That sounds super familiar.
I think that's
Shape
what it's
of
called.
Water.
But Benicio del Toro, he made that movie. I think that's the movie. But basically, it was a movie about like this sea creature like being experimented on or whatever. But then they fall.
Oh, yeah.
Is it called The Shape of Water though? I don't remember. But either way,
I think it is. I know what you're talking about because I have it downloaded.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
but the way he like
The web
sets
hands
up,
and shit.
yep, web hands and all that stuff. The way
Yeah.
he has like the vision of, um, like being underwater and all that stuff, and like how the artistic style of it is set up. Like I feel like he could nail that with Bioshock because for those of you who don't know, like the game is set up where there's an entire underwater world called Atlas, at least for the original game. And then in Bioshock Infinite, it's kind of the inverse. Like there's this world that's in the air, up in the clouds. But like the style of it, the style of being underwater and whatnot, I feel like it's something you have to like really nail to get that immersion piece in. And I think Benicio del Toro would freaking knock that out of the park. So be excited to see that. But you know, the main reason I actually ended up bringing up this movie thing is because it really relates into our very first topic here. So this week we got an announcement that Ghost of Tsushima, pretty new game, right? Like that just came out last year. Did extremely well, got nominated for Game of the Year, as we talked about on this podcast before. They announced that they're creating a movie for it, which is kind of wild considering, you know, again, it is such a new franchise. But it's being made by the same film director who created John Wick. Let me catch his name here. Chad. I'm gonna butcher this name. Stahelski. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Stahelski. We're gonna go with that. Yeah, but Deadline reported it this past Thursday that basically Sony is confirming the development of this movie. First off, this director is amazing because if any of you guys watch the John Wick movies hit. So for him to be making like a samurai movie, it's still kind of a revenge tale, sort of like. Man, you played Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know too much about the story, but from what I remember, there is like a revenge storyline there. No?
Yeah, in a sense, because like in the beginning of the game, you're like fighting this big war, and then like you're pretty much like the sole survivor of your like group, and I think you're like chasing down your uncle to like save him. So it's kind of like that kind of revenge storyline, but you know, hopefully no dogs will be harmed in this movie.
No, hopefully no dogs. But yeah, I mean, you know, it kind of seems like one of those things that this director, you know, again, who made John Wick, like we all know that that's like a big driving force of the John Wick movie, right? It's like people killed his dog, he went out for revenge, and the rest of the movies have just kind of been flowing from there. So, you know, it seems like they're kind of leading into that pedigree of, you know, good action movie like revenge tales, and just throwing that onto the screen in another movie adaptation like we've been talking about in some of these past episodes. So it's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it. But yeah, you know, Chris, what do you think about this?
I think this is really cool, man. And the one thing, like, the reason why I think the John Wick movies hit is it's really because of the director. Like, not really throwing any shade on Keanu or anything like that, but the way that movie is shot, or those three movies have been shot, is really why they hit like that. So, like, when you watch the action sequences happen in John Wick, it's really kind of, you know, I gotta applaud it because it's the most fastest dynamic cuts in a lot of these crazy, just simple scenes. Like, right? Because it's really not really that different. How many times have you seen a shootout scene in like a building before? Hundreds of times, right? But the way John Wick does it, it's more. It's so different dynamically how they shoot it. So when you think about that in samurai form, and now we're talking about Ginsu blades and shit like that, yeah, that's dope. Because I'm thinking about the same style of cinematography the guy takes in John Wick and applying it to this. This might be one of the coolest samurai things I've seen, and I don't even say samurai, but something that has to do with a sword that I've seen. Probably since the Into the Badlands. A lot of people slept on that show. I thought it was incredible. It broke my heart when it got canceled. But because I was like, yo, this is the best rendition of like sword fighting on TV, in my opinion. This is really good stuff. If it comes off even halfway close to that, hit her. If you ain't seen Into the Badlands, at least go watch those first few seasons and then have your heart broken too when you realize you're not going to get the end of the story. Because it's man, it was really good.
No, but the fight choreography, amazing in that show for sure. So yeah. Okay. Well, Manny, you know, what do you think about it? I know you have more experience with this franchise than any of us because obviously you played it on PlayStation. But what do you think?
Yeah. You know, like how Chris was saying with the whole samurai fighting and everything with the swords. What I loved about Ghost of Tsushima from what I played was like, it's that traditional samurai. It's not like that, hack and slash, that unrealistic where it's just like you get like hit with the sword like 50 times and you're still like, out here standing perfectly fine. It was just more of like you could literally die in like one hit because of like how realistic, the game is with the samurai fighting. And I liked how even the game itself, like there's even an option to like play it as like a classic samurai film where it's like black and white and you got the Japanese with the subtitles and everything like that.
Mhm.
Is what I really loved about the game is just like it was just like that traditional samurai stuff and seeing it on the big screen with this with the John Wick
Director, yeah.
director. Oh my goodness, I can't come on words, but like I'm really excited because like like Chris said with the choreography of like the shooting and everything like that in John Wick, it was just amazing. So we can just imagine how it's gonna be with this Ghost of Tsushima movie, and I'm sure it's gonna hit like John Wick movies did. They can't really mess it up because like you got the outline for you with the Ghost of Tsushima game, if anything. So
Yeah.
like
I'd be shocked
so
if they mess this up because
mhm.
it's an original story. There's already a blueprint there, like and they're working pretty closely with Sucker Punch from what the statements here say from Sony. Like Sony is gonna have Sucker Punch have like a pretty direct hand in the making of the film. So hopefully will go right along with their vision. Sony seems to really have um a good idea of what they're trying to do with these movies that they're making. Obviously, we know that they're coming out with the Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland. We know that they're doing the Last of Us TV show. So it really sounds like Sony really wants to kind of throw their hat in the ring with more and more of these properties. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing other things. I think there's already like a Ratchet and Clank movie or TV show or something like that that either already
There's a
existed.
There was a
movie.
movie that
Yeah,
came
a
out,
movie.
but I heard the
Yeah.
movie was like based on the like. I heard it was like all basically like the video
The
game,
video
like
game.
cutscenes and stuff like that from the movie and stuff.
Honestly,
So
though, that's what I would expect from Ratchet and Clank. To be honest with you, so I'm not
yeah,
too surprised. I wouldn't be. I think the next big one, if it's going to happen, is going to be God of War. Right? It's another one of those things that just
hmm
lends itself to being
Yeah.
a movie adaptation or a TV or something along those lines, TV show or something along those lines. So yeah, I kind of feel like Sony might want to be, you know, pretty much trying to cash in all of their characters at this point because if you guys know anything about Sony right now, the company themselves, like all of their other branches are not doing too well. Well, in comparison to what PlayStation's doing, PlayStation is really propping up that business. So Sony Pictures is going to want to take advantage of that. You want to basically leverage the winning side
hmm
of your company to prop up all the other sides of your company. So I'm not too surprised to see this. So looking forward to
yeah.
seeing whatever the hell else Sony has coming out.
Mm.
Pretty much from all these major companies. We know there's going to be a Halo TV show coming out at some point soon. Um, Maybe Nintendo might dabble back in that world and try to give us
A Mario movie.
another Mario movie. Oh no.
I swear to God, y'all. I swear to God, I would just drop dead right there. No way. If I see somebody hop out of a green tunnel in 2021 in overalls talking about some Isami in 2021, no, no,
How
no,
about it's a no for
no.
me?
It's a no for all of us. It's a
no for
no
me.
for all of us.
Like, y'all gotta do better than that. Come on, man.
Hey,
Come
man.
on, man.
Hey, I mean
Like,
they
I'd
got
rather see them. No,
Zelda.
no.
They got properties they could throw out there though. Definitely no Mario.
Zelda could work. Zelda could work. And what else? I would love to see them try to get really creative and try to see if they can make a movie out of Super Smash Brothers. I think that would be cool. Other than that,
we already got two movies though. You know what I'm saying, with the Pikachu
Other than that-
movie and
Yeah.
we got the Sonic movie. I mean,
Well, that's
possible.
Sega, but yeah,
I
yeah,
yeah.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
I know,
yeah.
but
But the Pokemon or the Detective Pikachu movie is actually really good. Like it's kind of
Yeah,
in a way
that
underrated.
was-
Not as underrated as Sonic. Sonic is really good in my opinion,
Mhm.
but the Detective Pikachu movie is pretty. But yeah, I could see them doing like Zelda. Again, we talk about this all the time, but Metroid is a franchise that they just have not been leveraging at all, in my opinion. Um, But yeah, I think they're already doing like a Legend of Zelda anime on Netflix. They already have a partnership for that.
I believe
So,
so.
so I guess the seeds planted in a way.
Hey, but imagine we got a Sony verse, you know what I'm saying? And then they bring back the game PlayStation All Stars.
Yo, nah, they need
Back
to
again.
let PlayStation All Stars live. You know what Sony need to do though? Sony needs to we're going off on a huge tangent here. What Sony needs to do is bring back Siphon Filter. Because if I can't get my fucking Splinter Cell, give me Siphon Filter at least.
Hacks. I remember that
Siphon
game.
Filter was the shit, man.
I don't think I played that.
What? Oof, man.
Yeah, I don't think I played that.
Siphon Filter was dope, man. I remember that on original PlayStation. Guys, let us know if you remember Siphon Filter down in the comments, man. I fucking love playing that game. But sorry, we're getting off onto a tangent here. Let's dive back into the other topics here. So, we already talked about the Ghost of Tsushima movie. So definitely looking forward to seeing what that's going to be. I'm sure it'll be a couple years down the road because we still have Uncharted to release and all the other stuff. But we did have two relatively big showcases this week. Got a number of different games either announced or we got some new trailers for them. Probably far more than we can cover in this one episode. So we'll just kind of pick a couple things that really interest us. So we're starting off with the Future Games showcase, which actually happened this week as well. So what I wanted to do was just kind of go around the room and pick one particular game out of the showcase that really spoke to them or spoke to one of us. The cool thing about the Future Showcase was that it was pretty a diverse set of games. Some games from Sony or that are going to be PlayStation exclusive, some games on PC, some games on Xbox. Pretty wide range of games. It's a pretty cool showcase that went down. So again, we're just going to go around the room here and talk about games that we were excited for. So for the Future Games Showcase, Chris, I'll let you start off. What was your game for this showcase that you were excited about?
Let me make sure I don't mix up the two showcases and look at my notes here. Hold on one moment. All right, I got it. All right, so yeah, they had a couple of really cool things in the Future Showcase for sure. But like honestly, the one that stuck out to me the most was probably Life of Delta. It just looked different. That's the best way I could describe it. Because I guess for me in today's day and age, like I'm looking for how do I put this? There's so many different ideas that have already been tried and implemented, and a lot of them work, a lot of them fail. And I think at this point, obviously there's going to be new styles of games that can come out in the future when people think of them. But for the most part, it kind of feels like we're just refining what we already have. And it feels like Life of Delta is a cool take on what the future of like a side scroller could kind of be, in my opinion. Because it seemed like something that it's not going to be like my main game. I ain't going to give it that. But in terms of just a good game to play on the side or something to play while I'm bored with my main game or in between DLCs or whatever the case is, it seemed, cool, like worth a cool playthrough. And graphically it looked a little different. I liked it a lot. A lot of it also reminded me of what you kind of get from Among Us when you do the little task. And like you get the little mini game and all that kind of stuff. And it just was like, okay, this is different. Just look a little different. I'm willing to give it anything different a look. I don't even want to say a try, but I'll give it a look.
Okay, yeah. I feel that. Yeah, I mean, the game looks pretty cool though. It's like a point and click adventure game is what they kind of bill it as. It's pretty cool. Something to play with some puzzles and whatnot. Nice.
I like puzzles.
Everybody likes
jumping puzzles, but I like puzzles.
I love jump puzzles. Anyways, Danny, what's your pick, man?
You already know. Back for blood, baby. We back for blood. I mean, I already talked about it in the what is it called? The Game Awards when they announced it. But we haven't had like a Left 4 Dead, zombie type of game in a while. Like I know we had like some other games where there was like monsters and stuff like that, where it's like a horde survival. But we're talking about the, creators of Left 4 Dead. You know what I'm saying? Like bringing it back. So I'm excited. Kind of upset that it was pushed back from August to October, but they had like a little nice gameplay / developer presentation where they explained some of the mechanics, of course. We started off in a safe room, as always. And They also talk about like the exploration factor of the game where you could just explore, find these secret weapons you could pick up. Like these rare weapons that you won't be able to use like usually. And then also how like they have like this little card system where it's like kind of had that replayability of you just like equipping these new cards and these new gameplay changes that you do, as well as like I think they mentioned like these challenges that happens during each level, like the different challenges that they kind of prepare you for. So it's pretty exciting. I'm sure like when the game comes out, we're all gonna have a blast playing with it. I know I definitely am. Since it's definitely been a while since we had like a Left 4 Dead type of game that isn't Left 4 Dead that played on Xbox via backwards compatibility. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one thing we know about Left 4 Dead in particular is that the game had a high level of replayability, right? Like we used to just go through playing pretty much the same levels like often. And it's good to hear that Turtle Rock is basically going through a very similar formula but finding different ways to add more replayability to it, like the challenge system you mentioned, the corruption card system, you know being able to get all these different weapons, so on and so forth. Like I feel like it's pretty cool. It's something that I'm looking forward to playing. Outside of even any of that extra replayability, just having a game like you mentioned that's like Left 4 Dead has been it's like a void that's been missing for us, for a while, right? Like once we were introduced to Left 4 Dead, everybody fell in love with it. The community pretty much demanded a Left 4 Dead 2 pretty quickly, and we all just soaked that in, and we've been missing another game for a while now. So I'm happy to see this. I'm looking forward to it as well. But even though it is getting pushed back, we should be getting a beta this summer. Should be getting a beta this summer. So definitely,
I hope so.
Definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm committing to this here and now. We are definitely streaming that because we need to. Absolutely need to. Cannot wait for that game.
Absolutely.
But my pick for the future games showcase here, it's actually going to be a game called Quantum Error. It's kind of a little survival horror game. Honestly, guys, I'm not even gonna say much more than this. It looks like Dead Space, and that's what got me. That was the thing that like stuck out to me almost immediately. I'm watching the trailer, and funny enough, Chris had the same moment that I had watching the trailer. Guy shooting this monster, shooting the monster. The monster's head falls off, and he's still coming at him. And I don't. In Dead Space, when that happened, if you shot the head off of the what were they called again?
Necromorphs.
Necromorphs, yeah. If you shot the head off the necromorphs, they would evolve and like they would like sprout like a arm out of their head and like come at you harder. So like you had to shoot off the limbs. It doesn't seem like that's the specific mechanic that they're going for here, but anything that even just and we're definitely going into nostalgia here big time because I think all three of the games that we all talked about have like fed on some piece of our nostalgia. But yeah, if you're talking Dead Space, you're talking my language. It's just that simple. So I see it, I want it, I like it. Give it to me. Apparently, it's supposed to come. What do they say? I don't think we got an official release date, but they basically said it's in development for PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X, which I thought was weird. And Chris, you definitely alluded to it too. Like, this is a weird way to like announce it, to say, okay, like PS4, PS5, Series X. You didn't mention Series S. You didn't mention Xbox One. I don't know. Weird, but yeah.
It's probably like a typo, if anything. Like, I'm sure.
Well, it was in the trailer. It was in the trailer.
It was in the trailer too?
Yeah, it was like showed that way in the trailer too. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah, definitely weird because like if it could run on a PS4, it should definitely run on Series S.
Yeah, absolutely. But something to look out for. So
taking those hating people doing stuff like that. 2021, y'all gotta change that.
It might just be one of those things where they're just not willing to commit to it yet. Like they're not sure if whatever, because maybe whatever vision it is that they're coming up with may not work. I don't know. I can't imagine what it is, but if it's on PS4, there's a very good chance that they may just say, let's just nix the PS4 version as time goes on, and then they just want to make it like next gen. and I can kind of see that. So
Yeah, you don't want another, Cyberpunk where it's just like, it's like, oh, we're gonna port it. You know what I'm saying? We're happy with the state it's in the current gen.
Oh man, I've been hearing a lot of Cyberpunk shade recently, yo.
Bro, I remember I was watching I know it's one of the topics, but like the Xbox the ID showcase, and it was like this. There was this one game that looked like Cyberpunkish, and everybody was like, "This is the Cyberpunk we wanted all along." And I was like, "Yo, this is throwing shit at Cyberpunk. They ain't do anything."
Yo, Cass gotta chill. Cass gotta chill with that. Yo, let these guys just rock in peace. They've had a rough year, man. They had a rough year.
They have.
Because even after
rough.
Yeah, even after the game got released and things happened, the way it happened. The fact that it got pulled off the PlayStation Store, the fact that they got hacked, like, I feel bad for CD Projekt Red, man. And let them rock.
Is
man.
he even in the PlayStation Store?
Too,
like,
right?
It's still not. It's still not in the PlayStation Store. Yeah, it's technically an Xbox exclusive right now, which is weird. But yeah,
Xbox should put it on Game Pass.
I think it might.
It probably will. Yeah.
If it keeps getting beat up the way it's getting beat up, I think it's gonna be an eventuality. But yeah, so Manny, you brought us right into it. So next topic really is the idea at Xbox Showcase. Man, a lot of freaking games got showed off between the Future Games Showcase and this. Like, we got a lot of game announcements this week, or at least glimpses. Like, I think there was at least over 40 games at the Future Games Showcase. I want to say roughly about the same amount at the ID at Xbox One. Oh wait, no, 80, over 80 games. It was like a 4-hour affair. So
yeah.
We got a nice combination of game trailers and some interviews and whatnot with developers. So pretty much the same thing we just did with the Future Games Showcase. I just want to hear what you guys think about some of the games that got released, some ones that you guys are really excited for. So Manny, I'm gonna let you start off this time around.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me tell you, that Hello Neighbor 2 AI system looks crazy. I'm like, the fact that the AI literally adapts to how you play every time you play. Like, for example, when they showed like in the presentation how this man like went straight to got the key and left, and then like the second one, this dude cut him off in the first route he went to get the key, so he had to go a different way. And then the third time he went to like hide in the closet, and then like as it kept on going, it's like the AI literally like learned his patterns. So like when he tried to go on and hide in the closet again after going like different routes, he would check the closet, since like in the previous like playthrough he went in the closet before. So like that's like really crazy how like this futuristic technology of like this AI system is like being implemented into like an indie game where it's just like like how come we can't get like this type of AI in like AAA titles like Cyberpunk and like that kind of stuff. So like it's really dope, and it like makes me want to like just dive in to play the game more and more times to see if I can like try to like find my way to get to the basement as he like learns my strategy, learn his strategy, I guess you can say. Like, I remember when like they showed a little bit of part where it's like they're showing him running around the pole, and then like he could try to cut him off, but he won't make it in time. So instead, the AI would literally like throw like a box into this door, which would shut, not door, like a button that will shut the door so you can't get through there. And it's like, yo, like that's so dope. That's I'm excited.
It's crazy, and it's like not only as you mentioned, right? Like it's not only just the AI like learning your patterns, but it's also the AI learning all the community's patterns. So like that's kind of scary, bro. There's some pretty good people in the game, so if they connected to the internet and basically like help to train this AI, like it's just gonna be even harder and harder as time goes on. And I mean, it could be a good thing. It definitely causes a little bit of stress, and I'm sure that's the intention of the developers. But yeah, I'm just imagining like that technology, that AI like translating itself into other games, like yeah, I can't even fathom it right now. I can't really even think about it. But yeah, it's dope. It's just dope. It's as simple as that. It's just dope. But yeah, Chris, what about you, man? What's your pick?
I actually have two, because one of them kind of counts and it doesn't count. So I'm just excited that for one, we finally got confirmation on Rust actually coming over, because I feel like this has been something that's been like rumored and then not rumored and then rumored and then not rumored. And I've been waiting for this game, bro, because so for those of you guys don't know, Rust is like a big time like survival game. If you're familiar with DayZ, you would be familiar with Rust. I would actually go as far to say as some of the influences from DayZ came from Rust. Big time game on the PC platform. I'm really excited that they actually called it Console Edition, because one of the reasons why DayZ I think didn't hit when it first got on Game Pass is because it literally felt like, for me at least, like it was just straight ported from PC. Like it wasn't really tuned for console in that sense. And the fact that they're going on a limb and saying the console edition tells me that they've gone in and kind of like tinkered with things to make it work better for us. Which I might be nitpicking with DayZ, but I don't know, it's something that I noticed. So yeah, I'm very, very excited that that's coming through. All that does is give me more opportunities in the future, hopefully with some of this roleplay stuff or whatever, because these are the best games for that stuff. These open world survival, let me go around and talk to people and build a house, and this is the best kind of games for that, man. But in terms of my actual pick, it has to be Exo Mecha, man. That jumps, man. Man, that shit right there. That game looks like Titanfall mixed with Pacific Rim, mixed with Zoids, mixed with Transformers.
Looks wild.
The only nitpick I have from the trailer, because I'm not sure if these are finishers or whatever, but if you notice, there's a couple spots, right, where he'll like does the that looks trash.
Yep,
I hate those animations.
I agree.
That's the only thing that I didn't like. Because there's two different parts. The first one, he stabbed him, right? He just said, and this guy's just...
Bro, the comments was going ham when I saw it live.
Yeah. It was so bad. It was so bad.
And then there's another one where he turns around, he has a grenade. It's like, yo, bro, I just put a whole grenade in your chest.
And he just standing there like nothing's happening. Like no reaction, no nothing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was really funny. It reminds me of, what was his name from the Halo trailer that they said had no emotion? Same boat, bro. Like, how you get your whole body just...
My boy Greg.
Craig, yo.
Because there's a little bit of hesitation before he does it, right?
Yeah.
He does the thing, and then the guy's just...
Dead.
He was like, Nani.
Yeah. It felt like when they showed that part, and I'm not sure why they even bothered showing it, because it didn't look good. So I don't know if they're gonna have some like way of refining that or what, or if the game is just in like beta or alpha or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah, man. But, again, aside from that, all right. So one of the reasons why I said Titanfall though is because at the end of the trailer, when they got the two big dudes going at each other. And, one of them does a finisher on the other, and he does the move where he kind of clips him, and his whole head comes off and goes flying.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, if y'all ain't never played Titanfall, one of the funnest things about the game, and I don't even know how to do it yet. I've been trying to figure it out without having to go to Google, so I'm just waiting until I have my Eureka moment. But one of the coolest things is the finishers. When you're in a suit. Dude, yo, I'd have had dudes straight grab my whole Titan. Ha! And then just jump in the air and then rip my arms off. And just like it demasculates you, bro. But it looked fire. It looked dope. And there's like a whole bunch of them in Titanfall. So I was looking at this shit like, hey, yo. Yeah, maybe we don't even need no Titanfall 3. This genre right here look like it can have some PvP. It look like it'll have some good PvE stuff.
I don't think there's any story there though. I think it's just kind of like a free to play multiplayer thing only. But if they expanded it, like if it got popular enough, you'd have to imagine that they would some. But yeah, nah, man. That every time they show that game off, that shit immediately pops in my mind because you already know me. We talk about this all the time. Anytime we got something going on where there's like heavy like traversal and like fast movement and all that stuff, I'm so here for that, bro. Like in fact they zip lined up to the helicopter, jumped out of it, zip line to some other thing, bro. That's gonna be me all day long in that game. Oh yeah, I can't wait. And they had the dude riding the rocket. I was like, what the hell is going on here, bro?
Yeah. The game, like when I first showcased it, I was like, man, this game look crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, for an indie game, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that support from like a publisher or anything like that. Like, this game look nice.
Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway from that event too. It's so hard to talk about an indie game nowadays because you know, and Chris Charlotte, the head of the ID at Xbox program, he kind of was even talking about it too. It's like so hard to really determine what an indie game is. All it just means is that it's being made by an independent studio at this point, right? Like technically speaking, Destiny 2 is an independent game at this point. Bungie's an independent studio. So it's just so crazy how like I guess how far along game development has come, how easy it is to really get into that space, you know, and the ID at Xbox program is definitely one of those things that makes it easier because he outlined the sign up process and it really is just as simple as going to the website saying, hey, you know, I want to get a kit, I want to try to get involved in this. And you know, Xbox has done a really good job of trying to help indie studios, you know, flourish and succeed with this program. And you know, to pretty much all of the major publishers now, you know, Sony's definitely taken a huge interest in indies as they show in all of their state of play events. Obviously, Nintendo's been taking a huge interest in them because they have their whole Nindy showcase that happens as well. But I think Xbox in particular, they, you know, they were kind of ahead of the game with it back on the Xbox 360. They had the whole Xbox Live arcade situation where they had a lot of indie games show up. You know, they had promos like the Summer of Arcade that got a lot of indies to really get their shine. I think one of the games, I can't even remember it now. Forget it. I think it was either Below or Inside or I can't remember the name of the game. But
I think it's Inside.
but I feel like Inside is a newer game. There was another one way back that like people made by the same developer, I believe. I think his name was Jonathan Blow. But yeah, like it was games like that, like Shadow Complex was another one from way back in the day. You know, like those games really kind of bubbled up that indie game space and kind of you know helped it to mature and become what it is today. Because if you look at the plethora of games that were shown off, and I'll get to my pick in a second, but you know there's such a diverse set of things. Like Rust doesn't look anything like Hello Neighbor, which doesn't look anything like XL Mecha. Like there's just so many different games, and I think that's the beauty of having that showcase. And the fact that they were able to have that go on for 4 whole hours with nothing but game after game after game, it's really impressive. And I love to see that type of stuff and, you know, helping the industry as a whole mature. But with that being said, my pick is definitely something I was talking about last week. It's going to be 12 minutes. I actually got to pick two games, though, because, you know, 12 minutes, they didn't really show off anything new per se. It was really just a developer interview, which, you know, I'm super excited for anyways, because it gave me an opportunity to learn a little bit more about the game. You know, and again, for those of you who don't know, it's basically a game where you're just kind of repeating this 12-minute loop and learning more and more about the story of what happened with, like, there's a murder involved and trying to figure out what's going on. And I guess every time you go through the loop, like you're gonna find out more about the story, right? You're gonna get a chance to search another part of the apartment, and it all takes place in this apartment too. So it's like a very niche experience, but there's an interesting story that seems to be unfolding, you know, in front of us. It's like all of this happens within 12 minutes within this one apartment, and you have to kind of solve the mystery of what happened. So definitely excited for that. And then the other game, well, XO Mecha would have been another big one because, you know, obviously we talked about that a little bit. But the other game, oh, now it slipped my mind, and I just had it in my head.
Returnal?
No.
Returnal looks cool too. Yeah.
Well, Returnal, I think they showed that off at the Future Game Showcase, but I remember it now. It's actually The Last Oasis. That game looks very weird. It kind of looks like Ark, but like more about like flight. Like
Yeah.
I believe they showed off like a moment in the trailer where like a dude was like in a wingsuit or something weird was going on. So, you know, and again, like flight mechanics, traversal, any of that type of shit, it speaks to me. So yeah, anytime I'm seeing something like that where a dude's up in a wingsuit, I'm like, huh, okay. Apparently this game's been out for a while on PC, so it's apparently out now on Xbox. So
on the preview program, baby.
Preview program, yeah.
Hey.
I definitely gonna have to check that out because good thing about preview program, I think you get like a trial of anything that's in the preview program.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, need to go download that. We're gonna take care of that after this for sure. But yeah, all right. I mean, did you guys have anything else to add about those events? Any of the games you could think of?
I mean, shout out to Game Pass though. I believe like 20 of those titles are gonna be in Game Pass.
Yes, sir. Best deal in gaming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eternal looks cool. I'm sad that Oddworld is console exclusive.
PlayStation.
Yeah. After that, nah, I think we done hit on all the heavy hitters for sure.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, aside from this news, I think this is easily one of the biggest stories of the week, if not one of the biggest stories of the year so far. So we got a report, little rumblings that Microsoft was looking to buy Discord, the communications platform. Most gamers know all about Discord. It's if you're a PC gamer, you definitely know about Discord. That's pretty much all people use on PC right now. But yeah, at first it was kind of just like a little rumor. People were hearing rumblings of it, but last week the Wall Street Journal, I mean, pretty reputable source here, reported that Microsoft is in exclusive talks to buy Discord, and more information's kind of leaking out here and there. But a lot of the things that we're hearing is that Discord actually approached Microsoft because they wanted to get purchased by them. And we already know Microsoft's been on a buying spree as a whole. Independent of just the Xbox stuff. In the tenure of their latest CEO, they went out and bought LinkedIn. Obviously, they bought Mojang for Minecraft. They bought Beam, which eventually turned into Mixer, RIP Mixer. Microsoft's pretty much just been on a buying spree, right? They tried to buy TikTok, but that situation kind of fell through. So this just seems like another one of those opportunities that Microsoft has to really acquire a company with some rich consumer loyalty, right? Like Discord has so much growth, it's freaking ridiculous, right? Like and I guess we're probably one of the few. We have a Discord, but it's more private right now. But we're gonna look to open it up to more viewers. Once we get our own growth going on the channel in particular. But pretty much any content creator you think of, like they've got a Discord community, right? Like Alidity, Pokemon, like any of these people. I'm pretty sure Nick Merckx probably has one, right? Like Chris always talks about Nick Merckx. Like any of these content creators, they have their community on Discord. Like they have their own server. I think I read a statistic that was talking about Discord having 6.7 million unique servers, like for people to just jump in and do their thing. I know a couple weeks ago we reported on the whole Wall Street bets thing that happened with GameStop and people being on the subreddit over there and kind of passing information along and all that stuff. They also have a Discord server. It's crazy like how big Discord really is. And Microsoft looks to be trying to get a little piece of the pie. The rumor is that Microsoft is valuing them at $10 billion, which is wild. That's more money than they spent on Bethesda, right? So to spend $10 billion on basically what is just a communications platform, Microsoft really has to see something there. And I'm sure they have, pretty big plans for them. But at the same time, I think Microsoft has learned very well that when they acquire a company, they really want to let them kind of be on their own and not really try to change much about them. I think Beam is probably one of the few cases where they had no choice but to integrate a little bit more because of Xbox and all that stuff. But LinkedIn pretty much operates as its own company. It looks like from what Microsoft announced, acquiring Bethesda, they're leaving a lot of Bethesda intact. They're leaving their marketing team intact and all that stuff. So I think Microsoft's learned the whole acquisition game, and it's really interesting to see what they may do with Discord. But enough of me. Manny, I want to get you guys' opinion on this stuff. So Manny, I'm gonna let you start off.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's important to know how big Discord is. I mean, obviously, like not only just like a lot of users in the United States, but I remember reading the article too, where saying I think it says 75% is like outside the United States too that use Discord, which is huge. And we already know, like for the PC community, how Discord is huge. Where like if they want to play games like Fortnite or Warzone and stuff like that. Like a lot of these people would just go in the room in Discord and they're like group chats because like PC doesn't like have like a dedicated party chat system. So like it's really good and huge. I remember even Phil Spencer saying that when he said how important Discord was, where it's like a quote that where people come together, talk about games, watch games, and watch others play games, and how he was saying that that's should have been what Mixer was, but obviously the user base wasn't there. So we see definitely the potential, and even like how like great it would be to integrate into like the Xbox community. Like imagine putting Discord on Xbox where it's not just like, all right, you got the party chat, you can send messages, but you could also like go into these rooms and like screen share this and stuff like that. Like how Sony has their screen sharing features where they can like sit in the room and like watch other people play. Like just having that on Xbox would be would be like a little dope feature. Like for example, if somebody wanted to show somebody how to do like a little Easter egg or anything like that. So just imagining the possibilities of having that, as well as knowing the fact that Xbox likes to do this whole crossplay thing where they integrate with the PC and the Xbox, as we've seen with games like Fortnite, where they were the first to like be able to do that crossplay with PC players, and as well as we got big games like Warzone, where it's just like not everybody uses the Xbox companion app on PC, so to be able to connect the PC players and the console players together would through this would be like huge in a sense. So that's that's my take on Xbox buying Discord. I hope it happens and see like a lot of possibilities and stuff like that. That would be very exciting to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I couldn't have said that better myself. Good take, Manny, for sure. So, Chris, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I gotta echo a lot of what he said, especially in terms of it just being an overall positive thing. I think, I guess I'm kind of looking at it more as a bigger thing than just the gaming, because like, don't get me twisted, it's big for gaming in terms of if this happens, it could potentially, well, I'm not even gonna say could potentially, it kind of already is. It already is the third party option for folks to use for communication. This just is what it is. So like I'm thinking about, all right, now if Microsoft gets their hands on this thing, Discord's done a good job of building rapport in terms of the gaming communities and stuff like that. But where I kind of see it like expanding is into other fields and stuff. So for example, one way I want to use Discord next year, or not even next year, but this at the end of this year, is for like the fantasy shit that we do, right? Because I hate how disjointed our communication is. For context, folks, we have a NBA Dynasty League fantasy chat, and we literally have conversations going on probably in Instagram, a sleeper app that we don't even use for maintenance of our teams. So it's really bad. And hopefully next year, for next season, we set it up. We got the our team shit, set up a different channel for trades, a different channel for Smack Talk, a different channel for just general news and links, all that kind of shit. Because it'd be nice to have it all in one spot, And I remember when I first started with Discord, I guess I'll say I was a little overwhelmed at first because it's not. Discord doesn't do a good job of telling you what to do when you first get to it. That's the one thing I will say that they need to improve. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like, dude, this shit is very complicated. I don't get it. And after about a couple weeks, I figured some of it out. But if they could fix some of that stuff, and then again, like just thinking a bigger picture, this is the reason why it costs $10 billion. If it was just about gaming, I don't think it would cost that much. But because it has potential beyond gaming, now that's why I see it becoming a thing where, yeah, you can charge that much for it. If they get their, I know you said they're keeping the marketing team intact, but if they get their overall message to become a little bit grander and to be in front of more eyes, yeah, this thing can be pretty big. Like as big as Discord is, I can't say that I ever seen like any Discord logos on anybody's like jerseys or nothing like that. Like it ain't that big, you know what I'm saying? So like I think with these kind of acquisitions, it can get to that level. I know we have another little segment we're going to be talking about probably afterwards, but even in situations like where we're going to be getting to, again, it's nothing but a positive. And I think I don't know how stuff like this works when it comes to making products and then making sure you have a communication aspect to it too. I don't know if that's something that takes a lot of resources. I don't know if it takes a lot of time. I don't know if it takes a lot of know-how to make sure your shit flows a certain way. But if you're telling me now that these dudes are going to have their hands on it, and then maybe they might decide to make it a thing where they make it accessible to everybody to use however they choose to, as long as they're paying a service fee or something like that, I think that cuts a lot of work out of the way for other people doing other things. You know, you don't got to worry about communication platform no more, and that's huge. I could literally take my production time and I don't want to say shave off what 10-20% maybe, because you don't got to worry about communications, or maybe it's even a bigger percentage than that. But you get my point, is that it saves production time. If I don't have to worry about this anymore, this shit got video chat, this shit got regular chat, it got I could talk to as many folks as I want to at one time. I can make as many channels as I want to. And if you got all this shit packed into one app, there is not really a reason to be sitting there using Instagram chat to go talk to your gaming buddies, or to be using Facebook chat for this. Like, I feel like it eradicates a lot of shit. Because no offense, it's a lot more organized than all those other things I just mentioned. Like, Instagram chat's cool, Facebook Messenger's cool, all that stuff's cool, but it's not Discord. Discord is almost, I don't. It reminds me of Reddit in a way. You know how Reddit is very concise and easy to read and organized, and whatever you're looking for, you're going to be able. It's kind of like that, but for communication. I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all, but that's how I look at it. It's just very clean and makes it easy to do what you need to do. And I'm telling you, other people, once they realize the potential of what they got here, they're going to be asking, hey, can we get on this so we don't got to waste money or whatever to do X, Y, and Z? Word? Bet. So instead of a project taking, until, I don't know, certain amount of time, maybe they could shave some time off. I don't know. I just think it's just going to make life easier for a lot of folks. Is it a pretty penny that they got to spend for it? Sure. But I'm telling you, man, because I ain't going to hold you. A lot of these places, they come up with their own communication platforms. Let's keep it a whole thou wow. Them shits be trash.
Yep. You're right.
Like, they just don't, they're not good.
You're right.
So on top of the point that I just made, it's like you guys are spending the money to make your own version of a communication platform, and it's horrible. So not only are you spending money and you're wasting time on productivity for this, it's why would you do that? It's like, I don't know. It's almost like, it's like going out of your way to go to some really rural location that has a really like low-key mom and pop spot for this one item that you want. You really gotta want to go do it, then go to the Walmart. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta want to go do that. So that's just the point I'm making here. It's gonna eradicate certain platforms, I think, and it's gonna make it hard for other little messaging things to kind of exist. Because it's that good of a platform that people once they kind of get used to it. It's just not a lot of people beyond gamers and for other reasons kind of know that it's a thing. But let Microsoft get this shit.
Yeah,
they gonna know.
Yeah.
they gonna know.
It's interesting because oh, hold on.
Oh, I went out.
Dude.
No.
Well, it's a good thing it cut out as soon as Chris stopped talking.
Yeah, for real.
All
right, he's back. He's back. Okay.
Oh, I'm back.
Yep.
Back. Okay.
So it's interesting because, now I'll start off by saying this, right? Like you mentioned, outside of gaming, like for work, like I use Discord for work, right? Like our company has like a Discord server, and we all hop in there, when we're on like help desk or remote support stuff. Like we have our meetings on Discord. It is definitely more than gaming. So I will start by saying that for sure. And it's interesting because really we also use Microsoft Teams, and Microsoft Teams would really be what we should be in some ways we should be using for a lot of the things that we do. But I look at this for Microsoft as an opportunity to make a more consumer friendly or public facing version of Teams, right? Like Teams, for those of you who don't know, and we're really straying away from gaming here, but Microsoft Teams is really something that's set up as a way for businesses to kind of communicate and collaborate and so on and so forth, right? Microsoft wants to make Teams work for like public people, for like you and me, right? Like a more public facing, consumer friendly thing, but it's not really been popping off that way. Discord is basically what Microsoft would want Teams to be for a consumer facing audience. So now, with that being said, you think about what that could mean for Xbox. You can see obviously the obvious integration between Xbox Live Party Chat. Well, it's not even called Xbox Live anymore. Xbox Network Party Chat and Discord. Being able to talk to your friends who are playing on PC in an Xbox Live Party through Discord, which they're already using as well. So they don't have to switch up what they're using, and I don't have to switch up what I'm using. The possibilities there are already great, right? And now, and this is something that we'll talk about a little bit more, but the idea that like a cross play chat could be a thing, right? Like imagine now if Microsoft has the leverage to say, okay, let's go get Discord on PlayStation. Let's go get Discord on Nintendo. And Discord's already big enough, so I can't imagine that Discord, the company, probably wasn't already trying to do these things. But we know that Microsoft is such a huge proponent of ubiquity amongst their services and their products and whatnot, right? They want Office everywhere, right? Any way that you can get Office, they want you to get it, right? They want Skype everywhere. They want Xbox Game Pass everywhere. So why wouldn't they be trying to do the same thing with Discord, right? Anywhere that Discord makes sense, which obviously would be on a Nintendo Switch, on a PlayStation, they'll be advocating for that. And it'll really just be more in Nintendo and Sony's court to be able to get that going. The idea that we all know how poor, and Chris, basically that's what Chris was talking about, right? We all know how poor game chat is and all these other communication platforms are, right? Like in comparison to being in an Xbox Live Party chat or being in a Discord server talking to your friends and whatnot, like game chat is garbage. It's absolutely garbage. I'll tell you, my buddy Adam, who, we were all looking forward to him getting his Xbox soon. We were playing Apex the other day and Spellbreak as well. We were playing that in party chat, in game chat, and it just sounded like a complete mess. It was so bad. Like he sounded like he was in a tin can. I could barely hear what he was saying. I'm sure it was the same way for him. He thought I probably sounded like I was in a tin can. And I'm sitting over here with $250 Astro A50 headsets. Like it shouldn't be that way, right? Like the issue is clearly not my headset. The issue is the game chat in itself. So, imagine a scenario where Discord is on PlayStation, is on Nintendo, and everybody can just talk together. Or Microsoft kind of pulls the API outside of Discord and plugs the Discord API for like game chat itself into like a development kit for other studios to make games, right? And now like game chat might be a little bit better than it was before because now we have a better infrastructure than we had in the past. Like I can see Microsoft figuring out a couple different ways to make this work for Xbox and for the gaming division and the gaming industry, in addition to all the other things that we talked about, where it's definitely going to be a thing that goes way beyond gaming. Like we already know that the content creation community heavily uses those servers to talk to their fan base. Fans talk about other random things. I'm in a couple random Discord servers for a couple different things. Like the idea that that Microsoft can pull a lot of different things out of Discord and make it pretty much whatever they want it to be. I think it's interesting. But the thing that I think us as gamers are really be interested in is this cross chat situation. So, do you guys think this is a viable thing? Do you think that Sony or Nintendo may be willing to do this? I know, Chris, you've been one of the loudest proponents of Nintendo needed to fix their shit as far as a game chat, party chat situation. Do you think this is something that they may be willing to latch onto with Microsoft?
They better. I don't know what else to say. They better. I mean, again, this kind of goes back to the same point. Nintendo literally wouldn't even have to worry about it at that point. They just got to break Microsoft off with a little something, and then use it. Then all is well in the world. Hell, they might even let y'all put Nintendo's colors over the shit and brand it in a Nintendo way so that way it works for y'all's shit, even though it's still Discord. They might even let y'all get away with that. But the point of the matter is, you wouldn't have to spend the money that y'all wasn't going to spend anyways to do the damn shit to do it. Now somebody else done did it for you and you're good to go. So all I'm saying is they better do it. Because that's just very, 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 very stupid on Nintendo's behalf, especially if they do not.
Yeah.
But in a general sense, yeah, should be something that even Sony kind of latches onto as well. Because again, I think with them, it's not that they're behind the bullet when it comes to certain like basic things like that, but they're also seeming like they're the ones that are always kind of like, oh, well, we don't really want to play nice with everybody else until they get forced to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's not any. We shouldn't have to twist our arm for this anymore, right? If it becomes a thing, even though Microsoft is out here and y'all don't want to give them anything, at this point you kind of have to. I kind of look at it like you know how Samsung makes everybody's like their the screen,
yeah.
and they kind of have to use it. Yeah, I mean, you probably don't want to have to pay Samsung for that, but you gotta. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it in the same exact way. If these phone companies decided, oh, we don't want to fucking buy Samsung stuff, okay, you don't have to. But you know what? Your screen's gonna be shit, and people are not gonna buy your phone. So if y'all want to play that game, go right ahead. I'm just saying. Sometimes you gotta like lay in bed with some folks you don't really want to in order to get something to happen.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And especially with Nintendo, does Nintendo already allow Game Pass on their stuff?
No, they don't.
Or
that's a rumor.
They don't. I thought they did. Okay.
They have a couple games. Like they have a couple of Microsoft games on there. Like obviously we know Minecraft is everywhere, and Minecraft leverages Xbox Live services. So it's like the groundwork is kind of already there for Sony and Nintendo, right? But yeah, I mean. I think people believe that if there were any two companies, like out of the two companies, I should say, that would allow Game Pass or would be more friendly to Microsoft, it would be Nintendo first because they already seem to kind of be in bed together, for lack of a better term. But yeah, Manny, do you think this is something that can happen? And is it something that you'd want? I'm sure you do, but
I mean, of course we would want it. You know what I'm saying? Because,
wouldn't?
like I said, nowadays we live in an age where crossplay is a thing. Even like with future games like MLB The Show, which is like a Sony studio, but it's going to be on both consoles, the Xbox and PlayStation. Like, it would be nice to be able to communicate that it's not game chat through Discord with each other when we're playing the game together, and like other games like Warzone and stuff like that, because. Unless you want to talk to Discord on your phone, there's no other way to talk to people on the PlayStation side except through game chat, which we know game chat is bad. And like you mentioned with your whole experience with your boy Adam, whereas like, sometimes you even get cut off while the game's loading into a match and stuff like that. And, it's really not reliable when it comes to like communication. So, it would be beneficial definitely to have it on, PlayStation, especially. Nintendo, I mean... it would be nice to have a Nintendo because, like Chris said, you don't want to have a Pokemon that's yes or no. You want to be able to just, talk, communicate them, saying, all right, can I do this? Can you do that? And it'll be, so much easier in the end of the day instead of having to do all these extra steps that is so unnecessary. So I believe that, like, I believe it will probably be most likely that it will be on Nintendo than Sony. But what is it called? Because I know Sony can be stubborn at times. Yeah. So I'll say, yeah, like, maybe in the future when Sony realizes they need this, but I just don't see it being on Sony anytime soon.
Yeah, I can believe that. I hope it will come to Sony, but I feel like it's one of those situations where if everybody's there, if everybody's joined the party, you have to make a change. You have to be a part of the situation, because then it's just this situation where like Microsoft just keeps, and I understand that like the mind share is still heavily on Sony's end, but like we were talking about this the other day, right? Like Paul Tassi, who's another content creator and a writer for Forbes, he was talking about how he's planning on switching to Xbox because of how easy everything is, because of how well integrated everything is, right? Like at some level, Sony's got to see stuff like that and see like all the different things that Microsoft's doing, not just with Game Pass, but with just kind of the overall quality of life on the things that they're doing.
Yeah.
Just like you kind of have to come play. You have to come play. So while I don't necessarily think Game Pass is going to be on PlayStation for a while, if Microsoft does try to go hard with this cross chat situation with Discord, Sony has to come play ball, man. I really just, I'm really hoping.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
can I do?
it's true. It's true. It would be stupid. It would be if they hang this up. If they're the only ones just sitting out here like we don't want to. We think game chat is good enough, bro. You know what? I hope they do that. You know what? Because they're gonna catch flames. So go ahead and do this. Y'all already got dumbass delivery. Go ahead and fuck this one up too. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. Like what y'all doing?
Oh man,
Come on,
dumbass
man.
delivery.
Like stop playing and just get with the program, bro. Like this is what it is. Like
Yeah, everybody should just
why
jump on
not,
board,
bro? Like what are you doing? Like come on, man. What are you doing? Like people are still. It's to the point now where ain't nobody buying a PlayStation or an Xbox based on what's like really technically better. Nobody cares about the hardware necessarily kind of being better than other hardware at this point. That everybody cares about the console exclusives, in my opinion, for the most part, and that's about it. Because it's really like apples and oranges. Come on, just get with the program, crossplay, make it so we could talk to everybody how we want to talk to them easily. This is 2021, folks. Get with the times. Let's go.
Yeah, let's just be progressive.
Go.
Let's see what they got to do. But
If
yeah,
y'all so big, bad, and scared, make a good game and leave it at that. Shit.
and they do
Okay.
make good games. That's the thing that I think is weird. Like like just stand on the merits of the games that you have because they're great and people will just continue to buy your system anyway. So it's not even like that's something you got to worry about. Just continue making your great games, continue doing your thing, continue making your movies, all that stuff, and just come play ball with everybody else. Like get on board with more crossplay stuff. If this Discord thing ends up happening, come play with that. And we're obviously speaking in hypotheticals right now, right? Like the reporting, we trust the reporting because Wall Street Journal is the Wall Street Journal, and I actually am pretty confident that by according to the report, by next month, which is only a couple of days from now, probably by the time you guys are listening to this, it will be April. But yeah, I'm pretty confident in April we'll probably have a deal going. So it really is just a matter of what we think Microsoft's going to do with this, and if they're going to try to make this whole cross chat push and all that stuff. Which I gotta say, I'm definitely believing they will. And I've heard some people out there talk about how Microsoft handled Skype and yada yada yada. But I think this new Microsoft, because Skype is an old thing that was back when Steve Ballmer was the CEO. I think this new Microsoft with Satya Nadella as the CEO, like he clearly knows how to handle these acquisitions well. Like we talked about it before. We've seen what they've done with LinkedIn. We've seen what they've done with Mojang. We see what they're doing or planning on doing with Bethesda. Obviously, that's relatively new, so we don't know exactly what that'll become of. But it seems like they know how to handle these types of acquisitions. They know how to let companies continue to just grow, and really, they're just acting as a support, right? We know that infrastructure will be moved over to Microsoft, right? Like it'll be moved over to Azure. And Microsoft will fund whatever needs to happen, but for the most part, I think all the people that are intact over at Discord will stay intact. They'll let people just continue to operate on their own, but they'll just have more resources to do really fun and crazy things, and I'm definitely here for that. So yeah.
I have one other question for y'all because it just popped in my head. What would y'all think if Discord literally functioned almost as like an OS does, where like you have your OS, but then like you also kind of have like, how do I put it? Like you can put skins over the OS and shit like that to make it look exactly how you want it to look and function kind of like how you want it to function in a sense. So like it's Discord, but then it's like you can use it and then almost, I don't want to say brand it, but like make it look like it works for whatever you're doing, even though it's still Discord. Like, do you guys think something like that would work better, or would it still work in the same way that we have it like currently right now?
Well, I think that was kind of part of what I was talking about before about Microsoft ripping out like the APIs. So like an API is basically just like, I guess, the framework of Discord and allowing people to just plug it into whatever it is that they wanted.
Gotcha. Yep.
So yeah, I could see that being a thing for sure. Like, you know, if Microsoft pulls out the Discord, the chat function of a Discord API, and you just throw it into Warzone or whatever new game is coming out or whatever program it is that you're creating, and it's just like and that's what they'll call like Discord integration, right? So you'll still be able to talk. Like if I'm on the actual Discord app, I would just hop into your server that lives on whatever application or game you're talking about, and the underlying framework of it is Discord. So it still sounds good. It still works the way I would want it to work, and I can access it anywhere, whether it's on Xbox or it's on my PC. So yeah, to your point, yeah, if they make it like that, and I get why you said like an OS in a way, because yeah, you can skin it however you want, you can theme it however you want, you can call it whatever you want, but the underlining framework of it is still Discord, and it still works everywhere. And yeah, I'm hoping that that's what they do, because you know, it'd be fun to see. Or you know, Microsoft, they've got so many smart freaking people over there, and the same with Discord. They'll probably come up with their own version of what we're talking about. But you know, as far as the range of what I know about developing applications and whatnot, an API would probably be the best thing I can think of. We'll see.
Definitely.
Well, yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here, because you know, we've definitely gone over a little bit. But guys, you know, viewers, listeners, let us know what you guys think about this whole Discord acquisition. Also, talk to us a little bit about the events that happened last week. You know, any games in particular that we didn't talk about from the Future Games Showcase or the Idea at Xbox event that you guys were really, really pumped about. As always, shoot a comment down in the section below. Let us know what you guys are excited for. And as always, before we leave, Manny, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, twitch.tv/GoopMasterFlex. Instagram, Twitter is GoopMasterFlex_TTV. So yeah, you know, hit your boy up if you got something to say. You know, if you want to fight, we can fight. No, it's
man, you can't be fighting, bro. You gotta stay gooping, bro. You gotta stay gooping.
Stay gooping,
Stay gooping.
You know, but you know what I'm saying? If you catch me online, you know what I'm saying? Xbox GoopMasterFlex.
Online.
Catch me online. How about that?
All right, word. Well, Chris, what about you, man? Where can the people find you, bro?
As always, you can find me on everything at MAY25THXX. And despite what our lovely host has told you viewers earlier in the pod, don't be pen paling me about no Rod Squad. Put it in the comments on the video. Don't. I already know what kind of emails come from. Don't do that to you, boy. Comments down below. Is Rod Squad a bad name? People, tell me. Yes. The public, tell me. I just didn't want to go with something like Dream Team. I thought Rod Squad was working. But anyways, that's where you find me. I'm on everything. You can pen pal me about other things except for Rod Squad stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely let us know about that Rod Squad thing, you know. It's pen pal him still, you know, for other things. Anyways,
other things.
For me, you guys, you know, you can find your boy Black Ice pretty much everywhere at Black Ice 8, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Twitter, Twitch. Really the only difference is on Instagram, it's at Black Ice 8_gaming. Make sure to check me out over there. Make sure to check out our Instagram for the podcast as well. It's at XPackPod. Yeah, hit us up. You know, guys, let us know what you guys think about the show as always. We'll check you guys out next week. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Hiya.